had a disturbing realization today. So, I'm thinking about some of the cults I've been in throughout my life. I've been in Christianity before. Christianity is not always a cult, but certain aspects of it can be. Evangelical Christianity, I do personally consider a cult. And I was raised that for a time, and then I was deconverted to atheism and raised atheist, and then when I came of age and chose my own path, I got into witchcraft from an Abrahamic background. I started researching the history of the Abrahamic faith. I started learning whatever I could. I still try and stick to usually the Abrahamic faith simply because that's my background. That's what I was taught to fear. And I got into like sorcery and summoning demons and other things because I was raised by people who had been essentially broken by the church, who had been driven to atheism and anti-theism, and it drove them kind of crazy, and it caused them to become extremely abusive and repeat what was done to them by their parents onto their kids. Even though they were physically escaped, they were not mentally escaped, and they were traumatized, and they traumatized their kids. Generational trauma. And I got into looking into like all the different variations of Christianity, all the different kinds, the different sorts of beliefs that had things that influenced Judaism and influenced Christianity and influenced Islam, the more polytheistic beliefs that were genocided, the sects of Christianity that were extremely demonized or were also genocided, and I've just been thinking, and like that stuff has been really helpful, honestly, to me. And I feel like that's an effort to decolonize myself. That's an effort to find out where it all comes from, to find the basic, like go back further and further and further to find a version that I can use as someone who is transgender, as someone who is autistic, as someone who has DID and had mates who identify themselves as demons and angels to me, and trying to find where I belong, trying to find a sense of belonging. And unfortunately, I realized I don't think I really belong anywhere. I thought ascending the left-hand path that it would cure my PTSD, that it would cure my depression, my lifelong depression. I thought it would cure my lifelong trauma. I thought when I obtained godhood and reconnection to everything on the deepest level I possibly could, I thought when I reached the highest point of the Sephiroth and the lowest point of the Qlipoth and brought heaven and earth and hell to earth within myself, I thought I would know where I belong. I thought I would have the answers, and I thought I would know where I fit with humanity. Instead, when I actually reached that point, I realized what I thought was wrong. I realized that actually there are plenty of gods who have complex trauma, and that there are plenty of miserably fucking depressed gods. And that actually, godhood doesn't fucking mean that stuff goes away. It can help you navigate it, but I still have CPTSD. And I also realized that, actually, I was further I had been searching for connection with humans. And I realized that the entire reason I've been disconnected in the first place is because my innate existence just doesn't fit in with anything. I don't fit in as an autistic person with fucking anywhere. The only people who accept me, truly, aside from other occultists and other people living with what I've lived through, aside from other people coming from similar backgrounds, the only people who really accept me for who I am are spirits. Our jinn, our demon, our fae, our angels, are the gods. They accept me. They embrace me wholeheartedly. Humans don't, and they literally never have. And I thought wrong. I was wrong. My motivations for going on the left-hand path were wrong. I don't regret it, to be clear. I do not regret integrating the husks and the Klepoth within myself, or ascending the Sephiroth, or anything I have done to spiritually better myself. I do not regret any of it, despite how fucking agonizingly, excruciatingly fucking painful some of it was. I don't regret it in retrospect, because I'm a better, fuller, more alive person because of all of it. But I also feel like I thought I'd have the answers. Like, a lot of what I was searching for was like, I thought I'd have the answers. I thought I would know where I fit in, only to realize I don't really fit in anywhere. And a lot of gods right now don't either. It's not just me. And I thought, like, you know, I'm out of these cults that stole years off my life and different things, but really it's like, am I out of these cults? Because they're still influencing my day-to-day life. It's like a part of me is still trapped there. And am I okay with that? I think I am. I think I am okay with that. I'm doing what I can despite all of it, but it's like, people act like it's so simple. They act like it's so fucking easy, and it's not. They act like witchcraft and magic and spirituality is just, oh, you just put the energy there and it comes back, and that's not true. They're deceiving you. They're lying to you. True spiritual fulfillment can only come from within. It's not anything, not even gods can give it to you. You have to find it inside of yourself. You have to find the deepest, most nether reaches of what it means to be you, and pull out your divine spark and integrate it with yourself. No one else can really teach you how to do that. They can hold your hand. The people I chose to work with, Archangel Samael, he can hold your hand. He can direct you. He can show you the doors. But you're doing the work. You are doing the work. You are making the choices. You are deciding. And when I reached that highest point, and when heaven became hell and hell became heaven, and all of it came down to earth for me, I felt miserable. I felt fucking miserable, because it didn't really change anything. It didn't really change the fact that I have been abused my entire life. It didn't change the fact that my family fucking betrayed and abandoned me because I'm trans and disabled, and they were embarrassed of me, and I was a family scapegoat, and they didn't want me. They just wanted to use me. And when I try to reconnect, when I've tried whatever, it doesn't fucking matter, because it's all controlled by things outside of my, like, it's not me. I'm not there anymore. I gave up everything. I gave up my family of origin. I gave up healthcare privileges. I gave up former housing, former, like, structure, like, people who could help me financially, physically. I gave up my name, my history, my life. I gave up fucking everything, my soul, for freedom, for truth, in the pursuit of knowledge and truth. It was worth it. Let me make this perfectly clear. It was fucking worth it to find that truth. It was, and it still is. I don't regret anything. But it is also mind-breaking. And it's also really despairing to have reached a spiritual level that I am now at, where I know I am, like, I'm not fucking, it's not bragging. I know that I am stronger than a lot of the people I see around me. I know that I am at a spiritual level beyond a lot of people's understanding. And I'm still struggling. And I guess I thought naively that reaching this level that I have, it would be different. And now I understand that if the problem is capitalism, really, and abuse and white supremacy and narcissism and hatred, I'm starting to understand that it doesn't really matter who you are, how far you go, what you do, even if you literally obtain the highest possible point and then keep going, because of course once you reach Keter, it resets, and through the X, the Sephiroth become a Klepoth, and it yin and yangs out infinitely, and just gnosis. But like, even if you are intimately connected with every part of your soul and the universe, it doesn't really change. It doesn't really change the issue, because the issue has been that I've been relentlessly taken advantage of and abused for my entire life for existing. I've been sexually abused, I've been physically abused, I've been emotionally abused, I've been neglected, and I'm only starting to unpack it the last 2 years, because that's when I more hardcore got into left-hand path specifically. I've been doing magic for at least 4 years, but I've been doing left-hand path stuff specifically more like 2 years. Approaching it, because that's what I needed. That's what my soul needed. That's what we needed. And it's like, I know that my gods, my demons, my whatever are on my side. I know they're looking out for me. And I know that I am loved. But there's still so much, even after facing the deepest, hardest parts and overcoming that, there is still so much. And it's like, I have to find a way to survive in a world that has proven it wants my demographics dead. That it will hate me for the rest of my life simply for existing, and it will stop at nothing to rip me apart, eat me, and destroy me. That anyone still in it will betray me if their comforts under capitalism outweighs what I need to survive and be happy and progress to the next level. That I have literally been stabbed in the back over and over again for years, to the point that parts of myself were driven to insanity and karmatic destructive forms, and I had to pull them back and heal those parts of myself and tenderly nurture them back to health. While I was going throughout the left-hand path, over the course of like a year, I had to be actively working to help these parts of myself that were essentially dying or undead or like going insane, and had to pull them back and restore them and help them and heal them. And eventually I did, and they're balanced now, and they're so much better now. But it's like, I'm not a singlet, right? I don't exist as one identity or as one point in time or as one gender or as one anything. I literally can't. My everything I am is split across different times, different ages, different genders, different fucking species, different people. It's all like, I am a web, an interlaid web of fragmented stained glass masquerading as a human. I am an angel and a demon and a fae and a djinn and a collective of wizards and a collective of spirits masquerading as a human. And it's almost like one of these things where I almost feel like if I was freed from my physical body, I would be more equipped to progress to the next level. But I also feel like I literally can't, because I have to stay here to help all the other people in my demographics with less. All the other people in my demographics who don't even have a roof over their head, who don't even have food in their fridge, who don't have what I've worked really fucking hard to rebuild for myself from nothing. Because so many transgender people were literally like, we're forced to go on spiritual journeys, to do whatever, to escape abusive environments and find our own truth away from the systemic cruelty that bore us. And it's like, I feel like my mother was a fairy and my dad was a destructive, chaotic demon. I really feel that way. And I feel like I've had this struggle inside of me my entire life that Samael's been able to help me with, and I've found relief and I found peace I found love and beauty in the darkness and in death. And I found God in the abyss of despair. I found God when there was nothing. When I had nothing left to lose. That's where I found God. That's where I found God. That's where I found love, inside of myself, not from anyone else. No one else could show me, but I found it in myself, and I worked really, really fucking hard. I worked really, really fucking hard, even just to have a roof over my head, even just to have food in my fridge, even just to have a partner. And I lost one of the most important things in my life when I lost my pet rat. Because my pet rat, Ratty, he was with me. He was with me throughout that entire process, that entire journey on the left-hand path. And he was such a beautiful pet, and he was such a good rat. And I feel like sorry, I fucking love Ratty, and that rat was with me for the whole process. He was like my familiar. He was my familiar. He was my fucking familiar. And it's like, I feel like a part of me is left with his absence. I really fucking miss him, but I don't want to get another pet because I'm like, I don't want to go through the pain of losing them again. Because rats only live like a couple years. God, he was sweet. And it's like, I feel like I'm a young demigod that's just like trying to fucking survive. Like figure out what the hell I need to do. It's like the gods, they don't fucking know. They don't know. They're just trying to help me. They're guiding me. They're like, you know, they're sending things my way, but like, you know, you want to know like the meaning of life is different for everyone. I found that life is worth living through me, through death's embrace, and through understanding and loving and finding the beauty, finding love and finding God within death, finding the beauty within the darkest parts of life. And that's why I chose the left-hand path, is because when Azrael came to me, when death came to me, I knew on a spiritual level in my soul, I knew that as long as I sought out Azrael, as long as I sought out death, I would be shown amazing things and I would be able to do amazing things. And that's why I'm a, what do they, you know, they say sorcery, they say black witch or black magic, or they say all this stuff, but it's not that. They don't understand. They don't understand what it is that we're doing, and say, don't call what you're doing healing. Talk to a rabbi if you want to be learning about the Kabbalah and the Sephiroth. And it's like, okay, but rabbi wouldn't be okay with me talking to demons. And it's like, exercise yourself, see a priest. And it's like, okay, but priest would, it's like, I've tried exercising myself. It's not that simple. And honestly, you can find God just as much as you can through hell as you can through heaven. Both Bina and Hakma, the great divine darkness and the great divine light, they both are equally God. And we've demonized Bina, we've demonized the left and darkness, and we've demonized them and turned half of God against us. But we've done that. And there's nothing inherently less holy about hell or void or darkness or chaos even, and abyss than there is to the alternatives. It's us that turns them destructive. Chaos is not inherently destructive. Chaos is not inherently what it is right now. It doesn't have to be like this, but we've turned it into this through our hatred, through our apathy, through our thumiel, and through our abuse of the klipoth and our abuse of God, creating the husks ourselves within us, making our shadows these hungry, rabid beasts. They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be like this. I wish I could show people the world inside of myself. And I have tried so fucking hard to show people. And it's in an effort to connect. And I realized I can't show people who are blind. You can't show people what you want them to see if they are cut off from their spirit, if they don't even see you as a person. And it's like, yeah, I'm scared. There are over 400 laws in the USA right now trying to eradicate transgender people from public life entirely. The goal is to erase us from public life entirely. The goal is to kill us, is to have us living in poverty, is to drive us to killing ourselves or killing us in the street or having us be homeless. And so many people I know, so many have gone through this, have had to give up everything from our pasts to find a sense of freedom and control over our lives, have had to give up fucking everything just to survive. Literally. That's where the fucking bar is right now for being trans in America, for most of us. Yes, the people online, you're going to see whoever. Some people, you know, they come from more privileged environments. They have some sort of like safety net or different things. A lot of us, we didn't have that. We had to fucking build that ourselves. We had to find it ourselves. We fucking lost everything. We had to completely restart. We had to like move to another state or whatever else you need to do. I know people who've been homeless. I know people who have been in really abusive, shitty environments. I know people who've been sexually taken advantage of, not even including the shit we ourselves have lived through. And it's like, these are common shared experiences. A lot of us struggle with suicidal ideation for years because it's driven. That's the fucking point. They want us gone. They don't understand because they just think it's whatever. They don't understand. This is on a spiritual level. People are transgender on a spiritual fucking level. And when you're trying to kill trans ideology, you're trying to kill people's spirits. You're trying to kill them. That there is no fucking difference. And it's like, you know, I think about being trans, and I think about my journey there. Really what I learned, the more I'm exploring the Klipos, the more I'm exploring the Sephiroth, the more I'm exploring my DID headmates and my gods and whoever else, and it's all fucking connected in me. It is all fucking connected in me. And the more I realize gender for me, like, I feel very strongly a trans man, but my other headmates, when they switch in, they have a different experience. It's a different fucking person who's living in me, but who I share some of my history with. And it's really like, if I take away these divisions and these different things, it's like, I am all genders and no genders simultaneously. If I take away my physical body, if I take away the barriers separating me and my headmates and these parts of my brain, I am all genders and no genders simultaneously. I am the light. I am the dark. I am a spark in a body. I am a mind in a body that's been divided into multiple minds, multiple different things. I am stuck in between. I am in between at all times. And it's like, I narrow it down to individuate, to be like, okay, I'm Max right now. I'm Max talking to this camera right now. This is who I am right now. But I smell something, or I hear something, or I see something, and I'm someone else. I'm a deer in the woods. I'm two elemental jinn playing in a fairy forest. I'm constantly fucking in between dimensions. And it's like, there's no fucking cure for my ailments. There is nothing. The only truth I can find, the only comfort I can find, it had to come from within. But what do I do when I see so many people like me suffering and struggling every single day? What can I do other than share my voice and hope it reaches someone out there who understands, who can maybe imagine or fathom what it's like for me? Because so many people, they can't even fucking imagine it. They can't empathize with what we say. They don't understand, and we try and teach them, and they don't care. They just don't care. They're stuck in the lowest levels of hell. They're stuck in Thumiel. There's apathetic. And I can raise awareness, I can speak, I can spread love, when I'm able to donate to other people. I see suffering out there like me, but like, I'm also struggling financially. I'm also struggling just to keep a roof over my head, just to keep food in my fridge. I'm struggling too. And I know God loves me. Despite my sinfulness, despite everything, I know God loves me. And I know God loves Samael too, because Samael works for God. And I work for Samael because Samael saved my life. He doesn't take credit for that. He goes, oh, no, you did what you had to do, and I just showed you ways to do it. I didn't do anything. And that's true, but he still saved my life. Azrael still saved my life too. I see Azrael as a part of Samael, as one half of Samael, and the other half is Bezaliel, is the shadow. Shadow mixed with death. Samael. And they're my family members, and I love them so much. I'm thankful for them every day. What do I do when it feels like it's up to every single one of us trans people who's still living and breathing right now to make sure that the trans children of the future, and it's up to every single one of us, of us autistic people right now, who are still living and breathing, to make sure that autistic people of the future still have a future. That the autistic children of the future, that the trans children of the future still have a future. Because right now, it's feeling a lot like there is no future. It's feeling a lot like we're going to be killed. And that we've been, they're driving us to kill ourselves. And the moment we stop, it kind of seems like they're just going to start rioting and witch hunting us and gathering us up like they've historically done and just offing us for existing. I'm afraid. I am fucking afraid. Because people don't fucking listen. They don't believe it. You tell them there's a systemic genocide attempt of trans people, and they're like, oh, what are they doing? They're not, like, forcing you in camps and different... Yes, they are. They literally are. They have been. What the fuck do you think conversion therapy is? They either send you away, or they jail you, or they force you in an asylum, or they forcibly try to convert you into someone else. Like, what do you... That is. It is all to kill us. It looks different. It might be looking different right now, but it's not going to be for too much longer with, like, no fucking supports in place. Yeah, we're fucking scared. It's like, I can be the spiritually strongest person I know. I can be a fucking demigod. Literally. I can fucking text gods and spirits with my mind. Whenever a spirit's next to me, they can just start talking to me, and I can have a conversation with them. And, people are like, oh, well, you're not spiritually powerful. You're just psychotic. You're whatever. It's like, okay. I'm trying to fucking live my life and not die. I'm trying to find truth in a world where living means living through hell for hundreds of thousands of different people, not just trans people, not just autistic people, not just people with dissociative identity disorder, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people being forced to bleed, to suffer, to cry out in pain and agony and death so that you can, so you can keep using your smartphones, so you can keep buying your fucking Starbucks coffee or doing whatever, so you can keep having these modern conveniences and comforts and using your AI art programs, all of which fucking come from fascism. All of it comes from hatred. All of it comes from off of somebody else's freedom.